Hello guys, welcome back. Today we are building a tiny house. This, I'm sure that you guys are dying for more tiny houses, but this one, the fact that we just got ladders, I think lends itself to tiny house builds. I find I don't, building tiny houses with stairs, props to you guys who have done that, because they don't give you a lot of tiles. This is a tiny home, not a micro home. It sits right at the max tile count there for tiny living for the tier 2 tiny home. And I definitely wanted this one. We're building in Oasis. No, are we in Oasis Spring? No, I'm pretty sure we're in Newcrest. I'm doubting myself now. But I wanted this, I picked this lot because I liked how it had that urban feel. I wanted this to be an urban tiny home. And so I gave it this front that is could almost be shop fronty. Like if you had a small like urban shop, I don't think it would have felt too out of place like that, especially I'm thinking about the town I used to live in, where there's a lot of places where the street level is retail or a restaurant, and then upstairs you have like an office space, and this kind of has that feel, but it's a home. And I do feel like in the end it ends up feeling perfectly homey. So we're putting in the loft now. I will confess that the placement of that ladder leader gives me some trouble, and I move it around and it does end up right back where we started, but so I think I bump it. No, so it's gonna end up right where we place it, but you'll see later after I finish this floor plan that I forgot something very important. But right now we've built the outside. I mean, this house on the outside, you can't get too creative with a tiny home, I feel like. I mean, you can, but you have a limited amount of space to work with, so we're almost just a box. Tried really hard to make sure it's not just a box, but we're almost a box. And so the outside is pretty simple. Put on these windows from Eco Lifestyle that I will try not to use in every build. I know I don't use them in my next build, but I don't think that's a great accomplishment. You'll see why. The next build I have is a coffee shop, and well, the windows there are, but I know I'm going to struggle not to use these Eco Lifestyle windows in every house. But we're working on the bedroom now. And this is, I don't think I said this at the beginning, this is a custom content build. I'm sorry if you're on console, if you can't use custom content, you choose not to use custom content, your computer can't handle it. I will do a lot of no custom content builds, but this one is custom content. I am trying to stay more with the Maxis Match custom content. I can't guarantee that will always be the case. I see a lot of really beautiful stuff floating around with I guess it's the I don't know if you call it alpha when it's not cast stuff, but the non Maxis Match custom content. But for this build, it is all very Maxis Matchy. Most of it is kind of like medium poly stuff, so if you're afraid of like your computer really can't handle some of it. And my computer is fairly old. You can tell it works a little harder when I'm using a bunch of custom content. But and I did use a lot. I thought I was trying to rein it in. Most of it is from Peacemaker. You'll see that this bedding is all Peacemaker. I believe that terrarium plant is Peacemaker. This rug we're putting down is all from Peacemaker. You can go on Tumblr and get a list, all the links for stuff I used, and download it if you want to download this little tiny loft. But anyway, we're working on the bedroom office space up here. I really love how it came together. Put a lot of plants, and yeah, it's pretty simple. Bed, desk, but it gives you a place to work. And then we're already on the downstairs because it's a tiny home. It's not going to take that long. And so here I knew I wanted some kind of window seat to put in and kind of make a seating kind of / dining area, because I wanted this space here to be that dual purpose where you could sit and you could read. And I tried doing more of like a built-in bench, and I didn't like how it turned out, and I ended up using these kind of chases from the bathroom by Harry, and so I pushed 2 of them together. Your Sims can still use them, I made sure, just so that this could kind of almost function as like it can be the dining, seating, social area, but also maybe like if you had someone who really wanted to stay the night, they could use this chaise as kind of a bed. I love this hanging plant. It doesn't work here because I will remember I think in a little bit here that we have lofted ceilings here, so that plant is hanging in the middle of nowhere. It will get substituted out in a little bit, but I love the idea, but it just doesn't work in lofted ceilings. I love this artwork. I know I have it linked. I'm trying to remember right now. I think it's from Simplistic Sims, if I'm not wrong, but it worked so well in this space. I think it's my favorite thing about this build. I love the size of it. It's big and it's grand, but like the colors just work perfectly. I was really happy with that artwork. Put in a curtain to kind of, I like the idea of keeping, obviously we have a big window here. I wanted all that light and that openness, but it is like a living space, and the idea is it's in an urban area, so I like this curtain. So the idea of having a big curtain there, so you could like close it when you want privacy, open it for light when you want to have light and you don't mind being open to the world around you. So I added that in, a few more plants, and then here we're working on the kitchen. And the kitchen, I'm gonna tell you, the kitchen is when you're like, oh yeah, this is why custom content is nice, because there's that beautiful marble waterfall edge on that island, and there's a fridge nook, and there's just this beautiful marble countertop. You notice that fridge nook gets a terrible, awful shadow. And if you do use custom content, this is why there's a special file if you're using mostly kitchen custom content, because of the way EA's appliances work. They're going to throw this awful shadow if you don't have a no occluders file in there, and mine was missing, had been moved around, so I do go and fix it. But just so you know, if you see that happening, you need to go get one of those. There's quite a few people who make custom content offer one. I believe you just need one, not the specific for that piece of content, but I didn't have that in my game files. I fixed it in a little bit here. But the kitchen, I felt like came together really easily. Because these cabinets are beautiful. I do really love these appliances are from Island Living. So I'm sorry, I kind of feel bad using packs when you're using custom content, but at the same time, I really love these appliances from Island Living. I like kind of the retro feel. I felt like this mint green kind of went with the plants I had in here, kind of used green almost throughout the whole apartment. In the kitchen, it's more of a mint. Everywhere else has more of a Kelly green to it. But it went, I kind of had, and you'll see that the artwork tends to have a lot of green in it, and the idea I had for this place was that I wanted it to be urban, but I wanted it to feel like a kind of a slice of a more pastoral thing in the urban. I had this idea for this great little TV nook here, and you'll see it doesn't work out, because this is the moment when I realized that when I did this floor plan, obviously I had an idea for an open floor plan. I think that makes sense in a tiny home. But there's one thing you don't want open in your floor plan, and that's a bathroom. So we are putting in the bathroom now. So this is becoming a theme. In my last build, I forgot a bedroom. In this build, I forgot the bathroom, which is more important. So we do put in a bathroom now. This, it's almost a small, I think technically I could have chopped off one tile if I had arranged it differently, but I didn't want to bump it out because I already used all my tile count, almost as small as you can make it. But I do try to make it kind of nice. I tried to, there's going to be a lot of plants in here too. I use these shelves. I think most of this stuff is from Harry CC's bathroom set. The mirror is not. I know that's a random from, it's kind of a random piece of content, but I tried to make it feel, even though it's a small space, we have this nice sink, we have some nice wall shelves. I'm kind of trying to make it feel like a nice space in here, but it's a bathroom. There's not much more to say about that. I was going to talk a little bit about, so I was talking about the alpha versus the custom content, and you'll see here in a second when I finish decorating the entryway that I have what I call my alpha CC moment, because I had seen this piece of this IKEA wardrobe, and then it turned out I had already downloaded, I really like this wardrobe, so I'd already downloaded a more Maxis Match one, but by the time I realized that, I was already pretty much done with this build. I didn't want to redo it with the Maxis Match one. It also didn't really fit the space, but I do feel like I like the Maxis Match, which if you don't know what that is, that's custom content that it fits with the style of the objects that are already in the game, versus Alpha CC, which generally I think refers more to hairs, but anyway, the Alpha CC, this more realistic CC, and you will use, I call this my Alpha CC moment, because really this hanging rack, none of these things are really Maxis Match. I actually went back and took some of these things out. They kind of work like that. That shoe rack is a Maxis thing, but you notice I had to size it down because the scale of this wardrobe and the how thin the woodworking is not really Maxis Match. I kind of went through my stuff and Maxis matched it after this. I can't guarantee that that will always be what I do with CC, but especially because I think I plan on doing a lot of no CC builds and then doing CC builds. My plan is to stay a little more Maxis Match. I do, by the way, end up having to rearrange this corner because I don't know why this didn't occur to me when I was building, but I have this wardrobe right in front of the ladder. I tried moving the ladder around, it didn't work out, it ends up back here, so what I end up doing is pulling out the hanging coats, which is unfortunate because I love that piece, but I pull out the hanging coats and I move the wardrobe basically over to the door, and so this is playable. So it's completely playable. It's play tested, fire tested. My sim tried to burn it down while I was play testing the kitchen. And I was talking about here, I added some more of these kind of tropical inspired prints. And I love these walls, by the way. They are based on a Jungle Adventure wall. I do think you need Jungle Adventure to use them. But I love the texture of them. And they give that really nice, like, texturized paint. And here we are. I didn't realize I landscaped after I did the inside, so we jumped outside to work on our landscaping, which isn't like incredible. Well, it's not detailed. I tried to use, I like this plant here. It's that same idea with the curtain. I liked how the plant added some privacy to the house, kind of covered it up a little bit. So I really liked how that came out. And then I added this path to our back, and I use this big awning, which this is where I feel like it maybe is too Maxis Match. I wish it had been maybe scaled down a little bit, but obviously, like, if you scale it down, it's too much. It's a little big. It's almost the size of our house. But I had wanted to have this back area, since if you keep it off a foundation, you kind of get free space. You still get the tiny living benefits for your gameplay if you use this for gameplay, but you get the living space. So I used this to give us a nice big outdoor living area. I put in these like hydroponic gardens. I love those kind of staggered gardens. I love how they give some more levels, especially because I was building everything off foundation. I feel like they gave some height to the landscaping around there. And then I use, and it's funny because this is really, I feel like what inspired this whole build. I use a lot of CC from a set from Peacemaker called Oasis Chic, which has outdoor, it's all outdoor furniture. And I got this idea in my head of like a tiny house with like this outdoor, this area that you could go. So you have this urban tiny house, but you have this little kind of overgrown, tucked away from the city, which obviously is a little harder to create in The Sims because, you know, I have an empty lot next door. There's a park over there, but that's what I like, this idea that you have this very urban feeling front of the house, and then you have a more overgrown, a green, cozy, comfy fire pit, outdoor back door tucked back behind your tiny house. So that's what we go for here. You'll notice that the landscaping, I went more with like this wildflower, these kind of big overgrown, because that was the idea that it's not like a place where like a bunch of stuff is growing. They're kind of just like the urban weeds that would grow up around. There's some kind of scrubby trees that I do think I tried to match in the neighborhood. Then we have these loungers out here. Have some potted plants. I add in a like fire, like a little fire pit lamp, because it's, like, the idea is it's urban. You can have like a full fire pit, but you have kind of this oversized candle fire. Lots of candles I put back here, just to give it this sense of like, this is you have the urban in the front, and you go back here and you have your little oasis, your little place to relax, to tucked away from the city life, where you can sit out here. I know I put in a couple drinks. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a couple drinks there. You can sit out here. I also threw in this this laundry line and wash tub. That would be a nice idea, since we had this little extra bit of land. You know, generally in a tiny home you don't have space for a washer and dryer. I live in a really small apartment. I know that I don't have space for a washer and dryer, but that there was this perfect space to squeeze in a laundry line. So that, and we have like the gardening here, this way of trying to, as much as you can in an urban context, live off the land. And then I'm just going through here, adding a few little details to the outdoor landscaping, and we are to the screenshots. So thank you for watching. I'm going to try and post one of these every week, so check back next Friday. Subscribe if you want to see more videos, and have a great week. Enjoy the screenshots.